Hey guys, here's another Land Enough battle report. It's going to be 2,500 points battle line. It is a Grail Quest tournament practice. Uh, in case you haven't read the other practice for Grail Quest battle reports, it's 350 points of Storm of Magic or Monstrous Arcanum. This is a Swedish comp event, but your monsters from Storm of Magic or Monstrous Arcanum are immune to Swedish comp. So other than that, enjoy. It should be an interesting game. Alright, here's my list. It's a little bit different, but for the most part it's the same. I'm trying to take Dark Magic, Death and Shadow are comp really hard. Still running the Tree Man Ancient as a level 2 life. Everything else is the same. I also have tried to mix up my monsters a little bit. We're going to try the 6 trolls. You can't go wrong with trolls. I'll be proxying my treekin as trolls, and then a solo dragon ogre with a great weapon. He's gonna kind of be my kind of like a second eagle. He's only about 80 points, and he's pretty tough and he hits pretty hard. So we'll see if he can do some fun stuff this game. Other than that, I think the list is pretty much unchanged since anything else. I am trying some different arrows on the Glade Riders, as Hagbane and True Flight are very hard comped after so many arrows. Alright, this is my opponent's list from memory. It's a 10.0 comp. It's the minimum. It's the hardest list you can bring to this event currently. He's got a Slaughter Master with level 3 beasts. Trickster's Helm with a 4-up armor save. I'm sorry, a 4-up ward save. This guy's really hard to wound. Remember, he's got like 4 or 5 wounds and toughness 5. So not only do you have to wound a toughness 5, but you have to re-roll successful wounds and then get by his 4-up ward save. So throughout the entire game, I'm always attacking this guy, and I don't think I ever get a single wound through. So this guy's a really good build. I really like it, and the extra hand weapon was just because of his extra points. He's got a Butcher as his Great Maul caddy, and the Hellheart. I forget what the character's called, but he's got a BSB with a 4-up. 9 Iron Guts, that's the Ogres with the great weapons, and they have the Dragon Hide Banner, so evidently his core can take 50-point banners. That's great. 3 little units of Nobblers with standards, 3 Mournfang with the Gleaming Pennant, some Man-Eaters that are stubborn and scout. These guys are brutal. I don't know if you ever played versus them, you know that these guys just really kick butt in combat. He's got 2 solo Saber Tusk and Iron Blaster. His Storm of Magic monsters are a maxed out Cockatrice. This guy has a heroic killing blow sniper attack, so this guy can make certain armies really nervous. And he's got a Chaos Spawn with the Mark of Nurgle. Alright, this is my opponent's deployment. If you can see, he's kind of focused really on the middle to his left flank. He's got an Iron Blaster. He's got his big unit of Iron Guts. He's got some Nobblers placed in front of him. I guess he's trying to get some soft cover and just keeping some sneaky fast cav units from getting all up behind him. I guess I'm not really sure. And then you can see some Mournfang right there to the right, and he's got a Saber Tusk right there and another Saber Tusk far to the right. Those are his scouting Man-Eaters that he dropped just right in the middle of the battlefield. This is my deployment. This is the center part. I have my trolls kind of being a cannon buffer in front of my Tree Man Ancient. Got some Glade Guard with True Flight in the woods. Got some Wild Riders over there in the left that have Vanguarded up, and some more Vanguarding Wild Riders to the right. Kind of trying to do like a little kind of like a pincer move, because he's got all of his units in the middle. I have my Dragon Ogre far to the left, and he has his Chaos Spawn over there as well. So we kind of both misdeployed them. So we'll just have a little chaff battle on the far left flank of the battlefield. This is my right flank. I have just, those are the same Wild Riders. I have some Sisters and some Way Watchers in that forest. I have some Poison Glade Guard. They're going to jump into that building first chance they get. And also, I believe I have some Way Watchers scouting in a forest in the middle of the board. This is my first turn. I kind of play a little cautiously, as what Elves tend to do. I dumped a good bit of shooting into the Man-Eater, scored about 4 or 5 wounds. I got Word of Pain off on them, but I didn't get any other spells on them. I was really hoping to Word of Pain and then Black Horror them and just wipe them out. But I did manage to lower their ballistic skill, which is important as they have flaming shots, and I don't want to lose any trolls. Um, the sisters go way up there, and they actually snipe off that one of that saber tusk, and actually cause like 5 panic checks. He passes them all. However, I do knock the gleaming pennant off the Mournfang, so that's great. Other than that, I just just kill off some man-eaters. Don't get a whole lot accomplished. Here's just another shot of the total battlefield. I'm showing you I'm just kind of going for a little pincer movement. I want to draw them in the middle, shoot them, and then hit them hard with trolls and wild riders. So that's the plan. Let's see how it works. All right, this is his first turn. He go ahead and charges the cockatrice into my great eagle. He has some pretty bad luck here. He kills the great eagle, no problem. However, because his man-eaters are debuffed, their ballistic skill, I believe his ballistic skill is now a 2. He tries to shoot at the trolls. He can't even get a single hit, and so he can't knock regen off of them. I think his plan was to knock regen off, shoot him with the Iron Blaster, maybe kill a couple, and then maybe even get lucky and get to the Tree Man Ancient and put some wounds on him. So he had a really, really good plan. However, the man-eaters could not get a single wound, and the Iron Blaster misfired and cracked. So it didn't explode, but it basically rendered the cannon useless. My opponent was pretty upset at that. However, I did remind him that pretty much any other cannon that would have rolled a misfire and then rolled a 2 would have exploded. So he still keeps a really, really good chariot on the board, even despite a catastrophic misfire. So, kind of got to look at the glass half full there. Alright, this is a better picture of the right side. He charges my Mournfang, or my sisters with his Mournfang. Now, it was a not terribly long charge. I flee, but I only flee 5 inches on Swift Stride, which was infuriating. So now I'm kind of in a predicament, because if he makes this charge, he's going to wipe out those sisters and trigger Panic into the Way Watchers and have easy pickings on them next turn. However, he doesn't charge me with the Saber Tusk. Obviously, he doesn't want to give me another flee attempt. But this ends up being a really, really big deal, because the Mournfang ends up being like a 17-inch charge. They fail it. Now, that doesn't sound like that big of a deal, but it really is, because if I may get to rally next turn with these sisters, and even if I don't, even if I continue fleeing, those Mournfang aren't going to have anybody to charge until at least turn 3. So because of this failed charge, I effectively take the Mournfang out of the game for 3 turns. So be careful out there, guys, for the turn 1 charges. If you fail, you can really end up screwing yourself over, and my opponent learned this the hard way. Alright, this is my turn 2. My Glade Riders fail to show up, of course. I charge the Wild Riders into the Cockatrice, easily mow him down, and then overrun into the Man-Eaters. But before I overrun, I shoot quite a bit of Man-Eaters off. I also hit them with Doombolt, which benefits from the Word of Pain I casted last turn, and I end up just killing a ton of them. So they're in bad shape, and they're about to take a hit from a bunch of really angry Wild Riders. Furthermore, I shoot up the Mournfang at the top of right of the screen. I kill one and put a couple more wounds on the other one. Mournfang do not like Way Watchers, especially whenever they can't charge them. Other than that, there's a chaff fight going on the left side of the table. I didn't even bother taking a picture of it. But so I'm really, really happy with this turn. I actually ended up winning the fight versus the Chaos Spawn. The Dragon Ogre just beats up. Chaos Spawn rolls low on his attacks. So Dragon Ogre beats him up, kills him to the wound, and then overruns, and is looking to get in a position maybe to get some Iron Blasters. Okay, here's a quick picture at the bottom of my turn, or at the end of my turn on the right side. My sisters don't rally, which that really stinks, because if they would have rallied, they would have had feigned flee, and they could have just moved and shot and got behind the Mournfang and shot at them. They also flee through the Way Watchers, who luckily don't panic. They're just on their natural 8 right now. So what I do is I just kind of spread out the Way Watchers, hoping to stop that Saber Tusk from charging in and getting a bunch of points off those sisters. And I just continue to shoot the Mournfang. If the Saber Tusk charge the Way Watchers, I'm okay with that, because they should be able to take them out. They're in a wood, and they're actually not terrible in combat. Alright, here my opponent gets really aggressive, takes out some aggression. He charges the Nobblers at the Way Watchers in the woods, and this completely surprised me. And he also charges the Iron Blaster into the Wild Riders. So I'm like, oh man, that's great, because impact hits will hit before ASF does. So the Iron Blaster ends up killing the Wild Riders to the man. So that was just devastating. Of course, the Nobblers fail their charge, but they just want to get out of the way anyway. So he saves his Maneater. I think I may have ended up getting a wound or something on there somehow or another. But he also takes his level 1 with the Hellheart and just kamikazes him out of the unit as far forward as he can. He's going to try to throw the Hellheart next turn, and he just wanted to do it as devastating as possible. So that was a really, really sneaky little trick that I wasn't prepared for. So we'll see what kind of chaos that causes. As I expected, he charges the Sabertusk into the Way Watchers, who just straight up, I think, kill him in combat. He may have got a I'm not sure how he got a wound on the Way Watchers. He might have hit him with a spell or something. But the Mournfang also, I think they charge. I had to get a stand and shoot, and I think put a couple wounds on them. So Way Watchers looking good over here. All right, here's my turn. The Glade Riders fail to show up again. The Glade, I throw my BSB at the Iron Blaster. He flees, and I redirect into the Lone Maneater. And I throw the Wild Riders at the solo Mage. However, the Mage does get the Hellheart off in my magic phase. I was able to get most of my wizards out of range, but he did hit my level 4. And I miscast and took a wound for my efforts and killed a Sister of the Thorn as well. However, I was able to... in shooting, I was able to knock some Iron Guts off, and I believe another Mournfang. And I killed the Maneater in combat, and I killed the solo character in combat without even taking a wound. So I'm looking really good here, and I believe his own Nobblers are blocking up his big Iron Gut unit. So things are really looking good for Wood Elves this turn. All right, this turn. He I think moves forward a little bit. He does rally the Iron Gut. I'm sorry, the Iron Blaster, and he actually kind of uses the Nobblers kind of as redirectors. And the guys on the right, I don't know if you can see him, but the Nobblers on the right, the guy in the little coat, they throw their hand weapons at the Wild Riders and actually manage to kill one. So that was hilarious, but also infuriating. The Nobblers also, due to Steadfast, hold up the Glade Captain another turn and keep me from overrunning. So these guys are literally doing more work than any of his other units. So that's funny, but things are still looking good for me. Alright, so take a look at this little guy. You know, earlier he killed a Wild Rider with his broken bottle that he threw. Well, I decide to charge the Nobblers with my Trolls that I've been kind of creeping forward all game. So they're trappers, and I have to take dangerous terrain tests. Well, I take a dangerous terrain and don't regenerate it, so I take a wound. I then get into combat, and the Nobblers actually are faster than the Trolls. So the Nobblers attack and manage to do 2 wounds, which I don't regenerate. So this little guy will now go down as a legend as the Troll Slayer, because he basically single-handedly killed a troll before dying. So it's back to my turn. As you can see, the Trolls make short work of the Nobblers. The Glade Captain finish off those Nobblers, and I actually charge my... Earlier I had charged the Dragon Ogre into the Iron Blaster, and the Dragon Ogre kills the Iron Blaster, so that's fantastic. The Dragon Ogre's already scored me like 250 points out of an 80-point model, so I'm really, really liking this guy. I definitely will have to get a model to actually use him at Grail Quest. Frustratingly, my Glade Riders do not show up again. I think this is turn 4 at this point, and I'm really getting frustrated at this. I really like the Glade Riders, but I don't like the mandatory ambush, and I'm getting really, really tired of bringing these guys and having them not show up because I want to not show up. I want to play with the models that I bring. Anyway, the Wild Riders get into the Iron Gut unit, and I'm positioned to do some other charges, so looking pretty good. Alright, so this goes back to his turn. He actually, to the right of the screen, he charges the last remaining Mournfang into the Way Watchers. They stand and shoot, and they just kill him outright. So he actually nets no points with his Mournfang, just all due to that failed charge from turn 1. So that was just devastating. When you fail a charge versus fast cav and skirmishers, a lot of times you're just going to, you can throw the unit away because they're not going to be able to recover. Anyway, he does get Curse of Enrahir off on my Wild Riders, which is really going to help him with this grind. And I am positioned to get some more charges next turn, but he kills a Wild Rider or two, and he also kills the Dragon Ogre. So I think I end up losing combat here with the Wild Rider, so now I no longer have Frenzy, and I'm down to 1 strength 4 attack. So he's trying to kind of pull out some points here, so I got to be careful. Alright, this is turn 5 Wood Elves, I believe, and I just go ahead and send everything I have in there. Even some sisters I had that were creeping up now that the Mournfang were dead. The trolls get in there too. But the trolls actually kill their way out of combat, so they actually will have fought their way out of combat at this point. At this point I've killed everybody but the banner. He does manage to kill the sisters down to 1 model. So now we just get into a grind war, and I'm in a challenge with his Slaughtermaster, which is really funny that his wizard can go toe to toe with my combat Glade Captain. Alright, this is his turn. He's desperately trying to hold on with a rapidly depleting unit. He puts Curse on the trolls, and he kills some Wild Riders. He has me down to 1, just the Standard Bearer. And the Slaughtermaster and Glade Captain are locked in a fight. They're just kind of having a pillow fight. Neither one of them can wound the other one. Their defenses are just too good, so I don't really see that going anywhere. I've just got to kind of hold on until the trolls can come in and help clean house. The Glade Riders still don't show up. Alright, this is just the result of the combat. I just went ahead and skipped forward. The last standing Wild Rider Standard Bearer manages to straight up kill the BSB. They had done a couple of wounds to him over the course of the combat, but he finally manages to finish off the last one. And just through sheer combat res, I'm able to break his general. So his general is fleeing. And like I've said, and actually finally my Glade Riders show up at the top of turn 6. Just in time to not do anything. So that's great. Other than that, this is the last model he has on the board. I think there may be a handful of Nobblers running through a forest over on the left side. Alright, and here's the final shot. He manages to rally his Slaughtermaster, I believe is the model, and turns around and just throws 6 dice at Flock of Doom, just as an all-out revenge move to knock off that last Wild Rider. So that was pretty hilarious, and he scores some last-minute points. But other than that, this is his last model on the table, so it's looking pretty bad points-wise. Anyway, it was a fun game. We'll go ahead and go into scoring real quick. All right, the final score is about 2,300 to 712. I actually lost the calculation, but that's roughly what it was. It was a big Wood Elf win. Additionally, because of our comp difference, if we were in the tournament or in a comp tournament, I would get an additional 510 points for this game, so that would bring me over 2,800 points. So just a absolute near tabling. So final thoughts. And this opponent, if you read my other battle reports, he's actually really got some good points off of me from early turn charges. He'll make those 16, 17, 18-inch charges. He'll attempt them and sometimes make them and just completely mess up my game plan. However, if they're going to fail as much as they pass, if not more, and in this situation, his Mournfang failed that 16, 17-inch charge, and it was just done because I'm going to get several more turns of shooting before he gets into combat, and Mournfang just can't take it. and I don't really know if he made a bad decision, but in this situation, it might have been better to just to move forward, weather some shooting, and then guarantee yourself a charge next turn, um, because that was just terrible. And having one of your most critical combat units get uh, put out of the game just because of movement is really devastating. Word of Pain, really impressed with what it did. I mean, it can do everything from lower your weapon skills, so they're not as good in combat, and get hit by blade wind easier, to uh, lowering ballistic skills, so a shooty unit is really nerfed, to lowering initiative, so always strike first is more effective, and finally it can lower strength, so it can kind of do, it's kind of a poor man's Wassans. I may not can buff my strength and toughness, but I can lower your strength, making me harder to hit a wound. So I really really like that spell. I look forward to using it in the future. Um, the solo dragon ogre really really shown this game. I'm really pleased with that decision to take him. He's kind of a sleeper in the Storm of Magic book. So I really really look forward to seeing what he can do. He's only 80 points, and he's a threat. I mean, he can even wound Steam Tank. So I'm really excited about that. And finally, Glade Riders. I appreciate they have a role. They're they're not comped hard, and I'm taking them to get around Glade Guard, really really hard Glade Guard comp. But when they don't show up, it can just be devastating. Luckily here, I really didn't need them, but had I needed them, say to take out a cannon, or take out a wizard bunker or something, I would have just been screwed. So I'm really frustrated there, and I continue to look for alternatives to field in front of Glade Riders, but maybe some Eternal Guard or maybe even Dryads, but I just don't see the points. And but anyway, thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.